What's up, guys? This is Mike Loris, going to be casting the second game between DK and fOu from the Nexon Invitational Super Match. Game number 1 went to DK in a quite convincing fashion, to say the least. fOu, they had a decent tri-lane up on the top with the Crystal Maiden Visage as well as a Slardar. But really, Ice Ice Ice, as the Timber saw, was able to get enough from that lane to really recover in a big way in the mid-game. And the Slardar, he had that entire lane to farm, and really he didn't have much to show for it by the end. He had a very late Blink Dagger, and that was pretty much it. And a Slardar with no items is a very sad Slardar indeed. So we'll see if fOu could do something different this game. DK, I'm sure, just going to stick to the game plan, do the exact same thing, because the exact same thing worked, and it worked really well. And it looks like they're going to open up this game with a Chen as well as an Alchemist. Last game, Mushi was the one on the hard carry Weaver. I don't know if DK want to run a mid lane Alchemist, but it could be an option. I think with the Chen, they probably don't want to do that. Probably just want to have the Alchemist as the primary farmer. But yeah, Lamb's Chen really setting the pace of the game with those early game pushes, poking the towers just a little bit, and then deciding when to fully commit to those towers. And every time he did, he definitely got those towers down, and that just helped DK start to snowball. And then by the time the couple more towers went down, burning was out of control. So DK just completely had the game in the bag at this point. fOu can open up this game with Lich as well as Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden was pretty good for them in the laning stage in the last game. Unfortunately, couldn't really translate that into any success in the mid game, but that was kind of the fault of the entire team, like as a whole. Lich, Crystal Maiden, they hit with the Ancient Apparition ban out. DK recognizing the power, the threat that is the all Frost heroes lineup, or all Blue heroes lineup. Either one, they're both dangerous. It's a lot of slow, not much stun, but hell, they'll ban the AA out anyway, because why not? I guess it is a decent counter versus Alchemist. Now that his ultimate doesn't give you that raw health, if you pop your ultimate, you're reliant on the regeneration it gives you to survive, or you're semi-reliant on that to survive. As well as the Chen with the Hand of God, as well as with the Hand of God and the mech. Having no regeneration is actually quite a big deal.
10 seconds.
So maybe it's not just them giving a nod to the All Frost lineup. Maybe the Ancient Apparition is actually a really good counter versus this .79 Alchemist, as well as the Chen in general. So I do like that ban from DK, now that I think about it. fOu, their ban's going to look completely normal the first 2 rounds. Elder Titan as well as Visage, following up with the Weaver and the Abaddon. Abaddon ban is a little bit curious, but Weaver definitely put the screws to them last game, and they've learned that they don't want to mess with Burning's Weaver, though they might have the misfortune of messing with the Alchemist handled by Burning, which is not fun either. So fOu can take their time. Lich, Crystal Maiden, definitely not as hyper aggressive as the Crystal Maiden and the Visage. A little bit more control-y, a little bit more defensive, and wow, Centaur War Runner. It's gonna be Centaur. Is this gonna be a tri-lane? Because Centaur is a hero that is actually kind of similar to Slardar, again, a little bit more defensive. However, it has a lot more to offer in the early game with the amount of damage he puts out. If you set him up with a Frost Blast, Frost Nova, Frost Bite, all that Frost stuff, then Centaur is going to be an absolute terror, extremely tanky, and you will be able to demolish that top lane, assuming there is initiation from the CM or the Lich. DK, though, they're going to go with the Nature's Prophet as well as the Pugna. They're going to go for very, very hard pushing. With the Alchemist Acid Spray just clearing out the creeps. Chen, of course, has his own creeps. Nature's Prophet the same way. Pugna with the blasts, and all of a sudden, fOu are looking very, very short in AoE. Crystal Maiden and Lich are decent, but they need someone who could clear creeps at long range. I think a Puck would be fine for them. It's not the hardest anti-push hero, but as long as you draw the aggro, as long as you have something to spam out in order to clear out those creeps, you're probably going to be okay. But I don't know, DK's pushing lineup is absolutely terrifying right now. Kind of wondering what DK are going to go for last. They have carry farmer. They need a support. I think it just might be Leshrac if they want to just fully get engaged with this pushing. Because I'm assuming Alchemist is going to be farming, Chen jungling, Nature's Prophet offlane, Pugna mid. And you need that support, Leshrac. fOu going to go for the Enigma. That will give them the double deny at level 1. But Enigma really doesn't do anything to counter push. I guess he does a little bit of pushing himself, get a couple of the summons up on the front lines, try to pull the aggro that way. It's not terrible, but once again, this opens the question of who do we put into the mid lane. Vengeful Spirit is going to be the last pick from DK. So we'll have the pushing in as far as the extra damage is concerned from the Howl as well as the Aura. And we are going to see Pugna being handled by Burning. So they are going to give this Pugna priority as far as his farm goes. If this is ever a game, if I've ever seen a game for Mass Necro books, it's this game. So DK, just go ahead and just do that. Alright, but fOu, they picked themselves quite a wonky lineup. They have an incredible team fight. Black Hole, Centaur Ultimate is pretty good for setting all of that up, as well as the Wall and Chain Frost, everything CM and Lich have. So their team fight's pretty good, and I guess if they recognize the fact that DK are going to be pushing a lot, that means they're all going to be together a lot, which means that your team fight is really going to matter for a lot. So I guess that's one way to deal with it, although their counter push, as I said before, is incredibly weak. It's nigh non-existent. So fOu, they're going to struggle a lot versus this push from DK, but we'll see if they can actually handle it. Febby is going to be on the Darkseer. We have Sagon playing the Lich heading up north. Ronto is going to be on the Centaur, for once not playing that Lone Druid. March is going to be on the Enigma and Anarchy heading towards the bot lane as the Crystal Maiden. On the DK side, we have Pugna being handled by Burning. Mushi is going to be playing that mid lane Alchemist, rushing up a very fast bottle. Lamb is going to be playing the Chen once again. MMY once again on the Vengeful Spirit. That leaves Ice on the Nature's Prophet, heading towards the bot lane eventually. So let's see how these lanes actually shape up. What the hell? How did he... Oh, he converted a Treant? Is that really necessary? I guess he could go back to the fountain, so it's not too big of a deal, but gets a little bit of gold from that. However, giving some gold right back to Burning. See, this is the type of farmer Burning is. 13 seconds. Oh, okay. 13 seconds until the game starts, and he already has 2 CS, because why not? But Dire accidentally using their fortification there. Definitely not what they wanted to do. It looks like we might be seeing, a solo mid Darkseer, which isn't terrible. Against the Alchemist, it'd actually be pretty good. However, Acid Spray is a very dangerous spell to sit in, no matter who you are. March as well as Sagan up on the top lane. Their main goal is to deny the crap out of this Pugna, and they'll have a good time doing it as well. Conversion's already used once. Sagan will have the sacrifice once again. So the more they deny on this lane, the longer they stave off this push, the longer they have to try to get a couple levels. Big question is, though, will they be able to deny enough so that they'll actually be able to get something in order to resist this push that is inevitably coming from DK. But mid lane, Darkseer versus Mushi, we can see both heroes taking pretty huge hits already from the start of this lane. And, well, Mushi will be able to get his farm, as will Febby, so I don't expect to see that much action, at least for a couple levels. Rotation will probably dictate the action of that lane. MMY, Lamb, as well as Burning, once again partnered together with the early Dark Troll Summoner. This lane is going to get pushed decently hard. MMY looking for a stun. Will find it onto Marsh. There is a net from the Troll, although the Troll a little bit too far away. Will land the net, though. That was absurdly far away. What the hell? That Troll has got some arm. But they're killing the wave, not within the range of the tower, so their incoming creep wave will go straight to the tower. And, well, Ice, does he have teleport? He is only level 1, having a little bit of trouble with Ronto as well as Anarchy. He's messing with them as much as he can with the Treants. He doesn't have level 2 just yet, but there's the fortification. Now this tower already, this pushing is going to begin. Lamb with only a Dark Troll Summoner and the damage aura from the Vengeful Spirit. This tower is going to take quite a beating. No real retaliation push on the bottom end of fOu. Ronto as well as Anarchy, they can't afford to push. They're not the heroes to push on that bot lane in retaliation. This is what DK's lineup is built to do, and they're going to start very early. I would have expected them to wait a couple more minutes, get like at least level 3 on this Pugna to get the additional point in Nether Blast, so we could actually start spamming that out. But you know what? Sometimes you just got to go for it. Febby. Oh no, the courier's not in trouble. It's actually going to be Mushi dropping down the acid as well as a stun. Easy kill onto Febby. Dropping the acid before for that additional minus armor, because Unstable Concoction does do physical. And Mushi getting the easiest first blood ever with that haste rune. Could have even chased down that courier, I think. But he decided not to. No need to risk unnecessary things. He could have done it. Can't buy the flying courier until 3 minutes. That was an easy courier for Mushi as well. but playing a little bit conservative, I guess. SSI still on this bottom lane. Ronto, as well as Anarchy. This is a pretty vicious dual lane from the Crystal Maiden and Centaur. You should need one Nova to land, close him with the Frostbite, and then unleash the Centaur payload of Hoof Stomp as well as Double Edge. And suddenly the Ice is not looking too good, though he does have boots and Anarchy does not. So Nature's Prophet a lot faster than the Crystal Maiden just in as far as base movement speed goes. When you add everything up, he's probably going to get away, although not if the Frostbite comes in. Here comes the Hoof Stomp. A little bit too late. Ronto, why you auto attack, man? If you didn't auto attack, that would have been an easy stomp. Now March in the top lane in a little bit of trouble. There's the net to follow up. Not much damage, however. He's going to get a conversion out on it. March will slip away. MMY will get punished severely for that dive with those Eidolons, very low level, but it looks like it might not matter. MMY getting tanked, tanking the tower, getting tanked, tanking the tower on his way out, will go down, so it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade in the end. Although it should have been fOu getting the kill on that Nature's Prophet. Ronto being super greedy, getting an extra right click in before the hoof stomp instead of just stomping. That definitely would have been the difference between a kill and SSI slipping away, and he did in fact slip away, and he will go for what looks like a hand of Midas. So Ronto kind of botching that a little bit, but I don't really think that's going to be their chief concern right now, because Pugna has hit that level 3 mark. He still has a long way to go as far as him scaling in these pushes. But Arcane Boots now up from burning, so he can start spamming those blasts out pretty freely. The top lane, probably not long for life. Lamb retreating to the jungle with MMY just for a little bit. Wants to get a couple more levels, get a control of an additional creep. And then once he has that, or no, he's just going to smoke up and just go straight for Sagun. Sagun, you got to be careful, man. He doesn't have much gold to lose, but at the same time, that's golden experience going to the enemy. He will hug the tower. He does smell something. There was an observer ward here, though I don't think he saw them smoke. He definitely didn't. And now MMY going to close in for the stun. Sagan is going to get stunned first. Centaur moving in. Blast is there as well. Centaur stun going to land. Ice joining the fight for funsies. He's going to summon some treants, and this tier 2 tower is not long for life. Centaur is up, burning, has a good amount of mana. Blasts could start flying, and with Ice drawing the creep aggro as well. Anarchy, you can't really get too close to this. It will be a bad idea. He's going to look for the denial, though. Ice is going to land a Sprout. Teleportation coming in as well. Will get cancelled immediately. Here comes Febby. He can't really do anything about this either. DK putting 4 heroes in this top lane, and fOu with no counter push, no answer to this early on, is going to be forced to give up the tier 2 as well as a tier 1 tower on that top lane. And now with Lamb, that is not Lamb. Lamb, he does still have that Centaur. It is extremely healthy. They can start working into this middle lane now. Ice does have a teleport as well as treants up in just a couple of seconds. And with the blasts flying through, Mushi with that regeneration, tanking the tower, will be more than happy to do so. Does have a bottle as well. Look at that regen. Mushi absolutely fearless. Centaur on the front lines with the blasts coming in from burning. Tier 1 tower, again, there's no answer from fOu. And they're going to be forced to sack this tower as well. Huge gold advantage now going the way of DK. Yeah, it's certainly getting down there. The experience with the Lich as well as Enigma doing their own thing, denying a lot of experience to DK, but you can see DK, they're not phased by it at all. Yes, they got a couple creeps denied in the beginning, but still, that just means that they're going to push and it's going to be a little bit slower, like marginally slower. But 6 minutes in, they've already taken down 3 towers. They're going to go for a kill on the Centaur as well. Ronto does have his ultimate as well as phase boost, so he's quite mobile. Although it doesn't really help you when you just get completely stun locked and nuked down before you cast anything. Yeah, he's down, and now with Ice as well as Lamb both in this bottom lane, this tier 1 tower is not long for life. DK taking the tour of the tier 1s, systematically dismantling fOu, who are still unable to put up any sort of defense. They're going to try to counter push this. Eidolons are decent for that with the Ring of Basilius turned on, but here comes Mushi. Might get a double kill with a 2-man stun. Sagan's going to go down. March is soon to follow. He will get stunned onto Mushi. The Acid Spray will not do it. The Illusions will not do it. March on the way out. He will get hasted out by that Centaur. Anarchy's going to come in as well. Mushi looking for that stun. Will probably just settle for Anarchy with the Nature's Prophet ultimate as well. One chop is going to do it. Mushi gets a double kill. Just narrowly, March slips away, although will he? Ice teleporting in. Mushi still with that regeneration up for it. Will time out. Febby is on his tail. Mushi might actually go down. Will channel another stun. Drop some more acid. Will get back even back. Stun. Ion Shell will not do it. Plus the Sprout on top of him. Febby will be unable to secure that kill. Just despite the fact that he will surge. He's now looking for Ice Ice, who's completely out of mana. Will try to go towards his team. Are there any arcane boots available? No, there are not, but he will find safety in numbers. But here comes Ronto from the side. He will get a huge stomp. No, he's going to get stunned by the magic missile. Chain stunned by the Centaur. Burning. Getting a frostbitten up. Burning might be the only one to go down from this. Will do a lot of damage to Anarchy before he goes down, if he does go down at all. There's a double edge. Will finish off that kill. March going to go toe-to-toe with MMY. The Centaur is there, though. March, he's gonna be just fine. DK lose 2, bring the tower down almost to deny range. So fOu finding a couple kills there, a couple of much needed kills as well. That was without Black Hole even up on the Enigma, without the ultimate from Centaur being used. Lich does have a Chain Frost now after that engagement. However, DK, with the gold advantage that they have, these big items are going to start to come up. Pugna with now a mech, very early mech, when you consider he already had his arcane boots purchased. So Burning doing extraordinarily well right now. Lamb has arcane boots. Pretty sure MMY he doesn't have arcane boots. He has power treads. That's fine. Ice with the Hand of Midas. He does have a medallion coming in as well. That's going to be for Roshan. That's going to be for those certain isolated times when you kind of just got to focus down a hero. And Mushi finding kills solo on the Centaur War Runner. It's 6-3, and fOu, they're massively behind in this gold game. Although not too bad, I guess. It's still pretty huge for this early on in the game, but with the denials that they're having, with the gold that they're finding from just pushing other lanes while their lanes are being pushed, all things considered, they're not doing horribly. I mean, they're still not in a good position by any means, but they still have the means to get back into this if they get a good team fight. However, Mushi, he's pretty confident. He's roaming around the enemy jungle just by himself. He's going to be just fine to do so. Febby getting focused by the tower. Medallion is up on him as well. Ice just right-clicking him down. And wow, look at Mushi diving the tier 2 tower without a care in the world. Vanguard making him very tanky, as is that regeneration from his ultimate. He's not really losing any HP to this tower, and he's going to walk his way out nice and slow. DK, they want to finish what they started. Putting 4 heroes onto this bottom lane. Ice is up on the top lane, still messing with Febby. There's a vacuum. March with the haste rune coming in. Ice is going to try to sprout his way out. Will not happen. It is going to be a Nature Prophet going down, but they get a tower in exchange. I think they're going to be completely okay with that. Mech is still available. Vengeful Spirit hitting level 6 as well. This bottom lane tower is going to start to be chipped down. Mushi laying down the acid, swapping back Sagan. Magic Missile before the Chain Frost can fly out. They're going to try to get it on here, but another stun onto the Centaur. Stunned by Mushi, but a 2-man with that ultimate. March going to completely miss everything, but the vacuum just narrowly pushing them back into the black hole. Acid Spray will kill off that Enigma. Burning with the Aegis is going to come back to life, and this push is going to continue. Ice now with the extra damage and tanky power of those Treants. Going to put them onto the tower. Mushi looking for someone to stun. Will find Anarchy, so he will not stun himself onto the tier 4s, but now the tier 3 is taking quite a beating, and really there's no answer once again from fOu. Here comes Febby with the Ion Shell, but simple peel away from Ice, and this Ion Shell is going to do next to nothing. Mech going to pop once again, and well, fOu, they do still have their Chain Frost. There it is, but really to no avail. It's going to actually be very lucky in who it hits. MMY might drop to the Centaur. He will go down, but Mushi getting once again a 2-man stun in the acid. March will get away just barely. Getting it mech'd up by the Starks here. Mushi tanking 3 heroes, and he's completely fine in doing so. Nature Prophet ultimately going to fly through, and it looks like Anarchy will get stunned up once again. One more chop is going to do it. Mushi, on his way out, will heal up with the Magic Stick charges and get sent back to the base as well. Burning, going to get stunned up by the Enigma, but he should be fine to just walk out of there. In the meantime, it doesn't matter what happened in these backline engagements because the result has been had. The Raxes are down in DK. 11 minutes in, taking Raxes off of fOu. Now, the scary part about that is not that the Raxes are down, it's a little bit scary. It's the fact that DK spent pretty much nothing to do it. They didn't suicide the towers. They were diving you and taking your Raxes at the same time. And that's terrifying. That is absolutely frightening, because that means they could just gear up, get the gold that they got from those engagements and the pushing, get some bigger items, and then go again for round 2. This time with Necrobooks. It's not looking that great for fOu. Alchemist still fully tanking up. MMY gonna get caught out, but here comes Mushi looking for a stun. Will get one onto Febby, and his damage is decent. Arnaki from the other end will have that freezing field, do a little bit of damage to Mushi, but that regeneration really keeping him alive. It's gonna be Ice gonna get double edged by Ronto. That's gonna do him in. 2 from DK getting caught out just a little bit. but it looks like they're not going to care. They're going to keep pushing in this top lane rather, because that's what this team comp does. You have Alchemist in the front lines, drawing aggro, messing with their back lines with pure tanking build. Phase boots Vanguard Sanj. Meantime, Burning just chips away at the tower. He's going to get frostbitten. No follow-up, though. March going to get stunned up. Once again, no follow-up. And everyone from DK reviving, and they're going to put all their efforts onto this bottom lane. Top lane. Why do I think this is bottom lane? The top lane. More treants on the front lines. Here come the Chen creeps as well. Blasts constantly flying. As long as Burning has a mana pool, he will be able to take down this tower. And fOu, they've got to commit now or never. Vacuuming Burning as well as Mushi back, but to what avail? Ronto going to get stunned up. Just poking everyone away. He's going to get mech'd up, swapped back as well. Mushi looking for that stun. He will find it onto Ronto. The damage will be there with another blast. There's a Chain Frost flying. Burning and MMY, they got to split up, but look at these unfortunate bounces. They're not bouncing onto anything useful. These Wild Wings are eating every single bounce. Will return back to Burning, but just at the last minute. Sagan now getting stunned up once and twice. He's going to go down. Top Braxis in the meantime being chipped down by Burning. There's a huge black hole from March, but he's sitting in the acid. With Rondo's damage, they might be able to get a couple kills. Yes, they will get 2. Mushi, though, with that regeneration, plus the Sanj, is just so damn tanky. And with the black hole, plus the vacuum, onto a couple heroes, with the double edge onto all of them as well, it's just not enough. DK are just so far ahead right now, and 14 minutes into the game, they're going to dismantle fOu even quicker than they did last game. That's going to be it, guys. Week number 3 has one more set of games left, DK versus Alliance, which is going to be exhilarating. Looking forward to that, but as it stands right now, fOu looking quite weak versus these Western teams, but to be fair, DK and Alliance, those are the cream of the crop. You can't get much better than those two teams. So, really, they put up the best fight they possibly can, and you got to commend them for that. But that's going to be it, guys. If you enjoyed these casts, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what I did wrong. I did get a comment that was saying the announcers were distracting, so no announcers. But yeah, stuff like that, it does really help. And I believe that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. GG.